live. Although, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another NBA Player Props Prize Picks live stream. It is me, Chavez. I am back. We are back. A player prop into today is Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. As always, I hope this content finds you doing well and in good spirits. Move the time back 5 minutes. I don't know if you caught that or not. Hopefully you did. And you didn't think I was 5 minutes late, but I did move it back 5 minutes. Just needed to take care of something real quick. And we are here. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their day, their morning. Hopefully you guys and gals, ladies and gents, had a great night. That Austin Reeves picture as hell didn't work out for me, so that kind of spoiled the night. But thankfully, the Trae Young promo did help with getting some of those funds back in my account. But can't wait to hear about your nights. Can't wait to hear about everything that went well for you all. If you want to tilt away in the chat, I'll read them. What's going on, Jesus? Good morning, Jim. Big Icy, ATM, Ray, Raw Blog News. What's going on? Jesus, Marcus, what's going on? Good morning. Value on Fliff. We don't really get a lot of Fliff questions on here, to be honest with you. I haven't really played too much on Fliff. Really where I'm playing a lot on right now is Prize Picks, Jock Market, and Underdog. Tried Sleeper and Chalkboard as well, but really just didn't really like the feel. I know Sleeper is very popular, and you can still find some really great plays on Sleeper, but for me personally, it just wasn't working. So really the main three are Underdog, Prize Picks, and Jock Market. I guess Jock Market is my off the radar pick'em site, but there are so many pick'em sites right now popping up like every day. I mean, Prize Picks is definitely not the only game in town. Eddie V, what's going on? Good morning. Hit that like button on your way in. I don't say it enough in the streams. In my mind, I feel like it's just a given, but sometimes I'll throw a reminder out there, a friendly nudge to hit that like button on your way in. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate y'all spending time this morning, wherever your schedule is. Appreciate you spending a few minutes of your day here with me on this stream. All right. I thought we'd go ahead and recap my plays from yesterday because, as always, fully transparent with the plays that I talk about, and I do play the plays that I talk about. So with that being said, let's just jump into those very quickly. Let's go over some injury news, and then let's start taking some Q&A and try not to go 2 hours today because 2 hours is a very long stream. But if you're new here and if it's your first time watching the stream, I appreciate you being here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Don't really have an end time, but 9 a.m. is typically when we start. No live streams on the weekend. So Friday is the last day. Do provide player props, my slips in my free player prop Discord. All that information is in this description of the stream. So as I mentioned earlier, that Austin Reeves pick did not work out. Austin Reeves had a pretty good night in terms of overall production, but boy, he scored a lot of points, missed all his three-point attempts. I believe he was 0 for 5 from the field or from three. Finished the game with 9 points, 11 assists, some boards, but if he took his RA, probably if he took his points and assists, maybe that worked out for you, but his points, he didn't even hit his goblin points of 13.5. So that's how poor of a night he had from the field. But overall, they won the game. The Lakers won the game, and Austin Reeves finished with well over 30 fantasy points. So not a terrible night, just didn't score enough for me. And then the second play, we had Brandon Pajemski that the play that did go over. Now, I didn't see what happened last night. Apparently, Nick Claxton slapped him in the face or some shit like that and then got ejected. I don't know. That's what the Discord was saying, but it sure as hell didn't stop him from going over his rebounds and assists. So we get the over on this one, and one in plays to start the week off. So man, I was really excited about these two plays. I thought both of them were in a good spot to go over. Austin Reeves just didn't go over. So there's my slip. I put this in late Sunday night. Austin Reeves did not go over points. And then you had Brandon Podziemski that did go over his line. So my slip didn't hit, but fortunately, Trae Young did come through with that promo play and help get some of that money back. All right. Injury news. So let's keep our eyes on some day. We don't have a ton going on right now, but just throughout the day, Tyler Hero's probable. We got Fred VanVleet, who has already been ruled out. Jaren Jackson Jr. is doubtful, and just a ton of questionable names on there. So I'll let y'all read that. I'm not going through all those names, but injury news is going to change throughout the day. So a lot of those Q tags will be moved to doubtful or out, or maybe they're probable or in. Just keep your eyes on those names. Tyrese Halliburton remains on a minutes limit. They're really just still trying to get him back up to game speed, and they don't want to risk further injury, but they also don't want him to lose out on his paycheck for not playing 65 games. So he's playing limited minutes. He even came off the bench last game. And it's why you see his PRA super low. I think it's like 22 and a half. Yeah, it's very low. So if you want to take a stab at any of his props, they're at the lowest you'll probably ever see them in his career. So keep your eyes on that news coming out of Indiana. All right. Right into some plays for today. So if you follow me in the Discord, I've already provided two pick power plays that I like. I think a couple of those lines have been bumped up. So if you want to check those out. I looked at some information this morning, and I do have one more 2-pick power. No fancy graphics, nothing like that. These two. I like the over on Jalen Green's points without Fred VanVleet tonight. We'll look into that on props.cash. And then I like the over on points for Jimmy Butler. I like a lot of Jimmy Butler's props. I think they're going to get bumped up throughout the day. PRA is in play. Points are in play. His assists were at 3.5. I think those got bumped up. You can look at a lot of different lines for Jimmy Butler tonight. But this one I just put in right before the stream. So we can break those down over on props.cash. But that's what I got. 3 2-pick powers that I've provided. And we'll dig into some player props here in a second. Nikki, what's going on? Ramo, good morning. Ink, what's going on? Shy, good morning. Salute to you as well. All right, let's get this going, everybody. Let's get this going. Let me pull up Prize Picks. Let's get the tools ready to roll. So if you're new to the stream, what we do here is we dig into player props. Some people like just looking at the odds. Some people like digging into the lines and looking at game logs and just getting a better understanding. We do a little bit of everything here, and super interactive. So if you have a question, if you have a player inquiry, throw it in a chat. I try to take at least one from each member in the chat. If you have extra ones, we have time at the end of the stream. We can go over those, but I just want to be fair to everybody and make sure that I'm getting at least one player prop from everybody as to get the questions. So pretty much it. Let's get this going. We got Prize Picks pulled up. We got props.cash pulled up here. We're ready to roll. All right. So what do we have going on in chat? So first one I see is this Terry Rozier over RA. Now, I do like his over on the RA, but I don't know if it's been bumped up or not, because when I saw it, it was at 7.5, and that was late last night. It has been bumped up to 8, which I figured it would get bumped up to 8. So yeah, Rozier is still in play, but unless you think he lands right at 8, which I hope he doesn't just land right at 8. I hope he gets 9 or more because that would cover the bump. But unless you feel like he's only going to do 8, I think you could take the over on this one. Just got bumped up to 21 points. So I already got that in a 2-pick power. So I feel a little bit better that happening on live stream. No Fred VanVleet tonight. It opens up a lot of uses for Jalen Green. And his numbers look really good without Fred VanVleet. We'll take a look at that in a second. But yeah, I do like the over on Terry Rozier RA, even at the bump with 8. Sengun over rebounds. Jim wants to talk about Sengun at 9.5 rebounds. Could definitely take that. Buenos dias, Jesus. Now we are officially a bilingual stream. ATM, what's up? He said wants to take a look at Ayo Dosunmu's over 3-point attempts. Let's do it. Man, no Zach LaVine in Chicago really opens up so much usage for guys like Ayo. I mean, even Caruso, but Ayo's a good player, man. 1.5. All right. Eddie V. Franz Wagner, 1.5 3-pointers made. He's been attempting 8+ a game. Has he really? Honestly, didn't know that. All right. Jim says he, in response to Eddie, says he has that Franz pick at 2. You got it at 2? Oh, you put it in at 2 this morning. I thought you meant you got it at 2 3-pointers made. I was like, damn, it's got bumped down already. All right. What else we got? Dante DiVincenzo. We got Dante DiVincenzo over first quarter points. We don't get a ton of first quarter. We don't get a ton of first quarter props, but always open to wherever the value is. Where the hell is first quarter? Is it up here? Am I not seeing it? We got first half, NFL first quarter. I'm not seeing first quarter. Maybe it's me. We'll come back to Dante. Marcus said Josh Hart under 12.5 points. That's a sharp play. I know he's been killing it in terms of fantasy points and even PRA. But if you look at his game logs, which we'll do, his game logs are really stacked up with rebounds and assists. He's not a big time scorer. And he doesn't need to be in New York. So that's a sharp one. This one will be bumped down to 12 at some point. You know it will. All right, Jim, when we come back, we'll kick it off with this Nesmith play, but let's head on over to props.cash with the 6 plays that we have on the board. We'll take a look at Butler, take a look at Green, Sengun, Dosunmu, Franz, and Josh Hart's. All right. So I already have Jimmy Butler pulled up. We won't spend too much time on this, but I do want to show you what I was looking at earlier this morning. So Jimmy Butler, 5 straight games of 19 points or more over his last 10 games. He's gone over this in 6 games. Now, if you watch and you know my logic or my narrative on this one is I think Jimmy Butler is gearing up to make a run at MVP. It's not something that we see every year. We typically don't see Jimmy kind of emerge until the later part of the seasons. But with all the injury news to the big names in the NBA and, you know, the field being narrowed down by this whole 65 game rule now, you got guys like Jimmy Butler kind of sitting there. And the way he's playing right now, we normally don't see this in midseason from him. So he might have his eye on the chip and an MVP. And if you're going to get that kind of Jimmy Butler, I don't think we're looking at a fad or like, something like he's playing over his head. I think he's taking it up a notch. That's what I think. So with that being said, we look at his points sitting at 19 on Prize Picks. This has been bumped up already, but at minus 128, you're still getting good odds. His head-to-head games versus the Orlando Magic, he has had only one game this season, and he went for 15. Other 3 games in his career, he has gone over this. If you look at his projections, he is projected for 20 points. That is over 19 points. I know the matchup on paper with the Orlando Magic doesn't look good, but we talk about this all the time. Matchups on paper are not matchups on the court. Sometimes we see the exact opposite play out. That's why these guys play the games, why they get paid money to play these games. So if the matches were done on paper, same team would win the NBA championship every single season. But I do like Jimmy Butler's points. I did like his assist at 3.5. Those have been bumped up to 4. You can still play him, and his PRA is definitely in play for me. Since I like his points, I do like the over on his PRA. All right. So moving on from Jimmy, let's pull up. I tell you what, let's go to this Houston Indiana game, and let's look at Sengun's rebounds. We'll quickly look at Jalen Green's points, though they've been bumped up already, but give you an idea of what I was looking at this morning. So nice matchup for the Rockets today. Nice pace-up game for the Rockets today on the road. Sengun has hit his rebound prop in 9 out of his last 10 games. This is really good numbers. No less than 10 in all these games. His head-to-head games with the Pacers, 2 games last season didn't get it done, but in 1 game this season, he did get it done. 16 rebounds. For some reason, when we look up Rockets props on props.cash, there are never any projections for the Houston Rockets, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just Sengun. We'll see if it's the same with Jalen Green. So we can't really look at his projections. That's fine. We can look at other lines on other books. FanDuel, DraftKings both have this with heavier juice to the over. FanDuel is giving you really heavy juice over. BetMGM is a little bit closer to being flat. Caesars as well, and then PointsBet. So all these books are liking the over, but FanDuel by far they're loving this shit. This is just really impressive. If you want to take it a step further and take a look at his rebounds on the road, he's gone over this in 60% of his games. He's still averaging 9 rebounds on the road. And then if you want to take a look at the difference between that and home, so bit of a better rebounder at home. I think we can always assume that a player is going to play better in front of their fans, but Sengun is definitely showing out at home. Now, one thing we can do is factor out Fred VanVleet, since we know he's already out. I don't know how big of an impact that has on Sengun's numbers. In terms of his rebounds, doesn't really seem to make a ton of difference. He's still putting up massive numbers. Where this might affect Sengun is in the assist category. So over his last, we can't even look at these game logs like that, be honest with you, because the sample size is so small. Fred VanVleet wasn't on the Rockets last season, so we only have 2 games to look at without Fred VanVleet as a Rocket. And in those 2 games, Sengun went for 10 assists and 4 assists. In those same 2 games, Sengun went for 12 rebounds and 7 rebounds. So ignore all this over here because that's relevant. These 2 games right here. So again, not a big sample size. So let's just focus on his last 10. His last 10 on the road. Those numbers look good. You're still getting very solid odds for Sengun. Jalen Green, now Jalen, somebody I look to a lot. In fact, I kind of talk shit about him sometimes because I just feel like he's not where he needs to be in his career to be such a high draft pick. But sometimes these guys they're not all superstars. They're just good or very good. Seems to be turning it on as of late. Over his last 5 games, he has crossed that 30-point mark. Now his line is at 20.5 now. or is it 21? It's at 21. So you're still getting it at a lower line, but not by much. Against Indiana, only one game this year to look at. Now, games played without Fred VanVleet, sample size will be small again. So these two games are played without Fred VanVleet. So against Denver, 26 points and then 16 points here. So in those two games, I mean, he's averaging, what is that, 42 points? He's averaging literally 21 on the dot in these two games. Much different matchup against the Pacers than the Boston Celtics. So looking at a faster paced game on the road, I just like this spot for Jalen Green today. I like it at 20 points, 20 and a half, 21. If this keeps getting bumped up, then it just gets to the point where there are so many other player props out there to choose from. You know, why are we going to continuously play the bumps? Like, just go pick something else. But I do like it at this number at 21. So Sengun, Green aren't good. I haven't looked at any other Rockets today. So if you think any other Rocket is going to be in a good spot today to go over, like Cam Whitmore, I don't know, Dylan Brooks, take a look at their lines without Fred VanVleet in the lineup. See if that makes a difference. See if that looks good to you. All right. We got Fred VanVleet. We got Sengun, or excuse me, Jalen Green, Sengun. Let's talk about, let's go over to, we got Dosunmu, Wagner, and Hart. So Franz Wagner 3-pointers made. I have not looked at those today, but at 1.5, and the way he has been scoring as of late makes sense. So look, the odds aren't great, minus 122 in favor of the under. A little bit of juice coming in on the over, but look what he's done over his last 10 games. So sometimes you can look at the game logs and just say, I get the odds aren't in his favor, but man, this is really difficult to ignore. He's made at least 2 3-pointers in the last 7 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Head-to-head game with the Miami Heat. He does have 1 this season to look at, or 2 this season to look at, where he did go for 2. And this one he went 0, so he's averaging 1. His projections have him closer to 2 at 1.87 than they do to 1. So that's also a positive. Miami Heat kind of tightening up on that 3-point percentage, but the 3-pointers allowed per game sits bottom of the league in the NBA. So I don't mind this one at all. Mentioned he's taking a ton of 3-pointers per game. 8, was that it? The number was 8. Oh, or was it Dosunmu who was? Where did I see that 8 number? Or am I just making stuff up? So over his last 10 games, Franz. Oh, this is against Miami. Okay, so against Miami, he is only taken roughly 4 3-pointers per game. But if we go and look at his last 10, there you go. So over his last 10 games, Franz is averaging roughly 5. He has that 8 upside, but there you go. This looks good. I guess you just have a decision to make if you're just gonna, not pay attention to the odds and just go with what you're seeing here. But you do have enough data here to make a decision to take the over on it. All right, there's Franz. Josh Hart in New York. We're looking at the under on his points. So it's not that he can't score points, or it's not that he's incapable of scoring 15 points or something like that. It's just that he doesn't. And it's just that he doesn't need to. You would think that his points would go up without Julius Randle in the lineup. Maybe they have. I don't know what he was scoring per game with Randle. But the last 10 games played with Julius Randle, he was averaging 7 points. And then without Randall, he's averaging 8. So yeah, his scoring has gone up. It's gone up by almost 2 points, a little over 2 points. Or no, it was points gone up. But it's not like he's taking games over. So you can confidently look at the under on his points, because with Randall or without Randall, it doesn't really make a difference. I mean, he can pop off, but he's staying in his range. Getting all his production is the alt stats, the rebounds and the assists. I mean, he's averaging 13 rebounds and assists over his last 10, 17 over his last 5. That's where his production is coming from. Blocks and steals. In terms of fantasy production for this guy, I mean, it's not mind blowing, but he is contributing. So yeah, I think the under on Josh Hart's points, I think that's in play. I think that's, you could confidently look at that. Projections don't look good either. I know it is against the Memphis Grizzlies, but it's not like he's been going off and then all of a sudden we're looking at the under. He typically doesn't hit this. He typically does 10 points. All right, Josh Hart, done. Let's take a look at Ayo versus Minnesota. So this game probably going to be a slow kind of game. I believe these are two of the slowest paced teams in the NBA. So again, we're looking at the 1.5 3-pointers made. So he has gone over this in 3 straight. He's averaging roughly 3 in those last 3 games. But overall, over his last 10, he's giving you 2. Over his last 5, he's giving you 2. The odds are kind of flat, kind of a clear. He is projected for 1.72 3-pointers made, so that's closer to 2 than it is to 1. Tough defense. We always talk about how tough Minnesota's defense is, but then, you know, they have games like they had against the Orlando Magic where they lost, and they let a lot of guys score in a lot of different ways. So yeah, I don't think there's a ton to dig into with this one. It's just of you know, is he going to get his attempts? Is he going to get his shots off? Minutes are always going to be there for him, or at least they are now. And I don't think we can expect 9 3-pointers attempted every game from him, but I think he's living in that 4 to 5 range. And over his last 10 games, he's a 43%er from 3. So that one looks good too for Ayo. I kind of like to see this flipped around, or maybe a little bit more juice to the over, but I think these odds are fine for Ayo. All right, so first round of player props are complete. I like the over on Jimmy Butler points. I like the over at Jalen Green's 20.5, but at 21.5, I mean, we could still take that over, but I played it at 20.5. Sengun, we like the over on his rebounds. Ayo, I think we're going all overs here except for Josh Hart. So we got 6 player props in, 6 player props out. We're going to screenshot these, and then we are going to reload and do another round of player props. All right. Say while we're just taking a quick breather, going over yesterday's plays of the day, I need to make a slide for these. Now I do put the results in the Discord, but I need to make a slide for these for our stream, so that way I'm keeping track of all these, but just a better presentation. But here's what I know so far. The only 2 that I'm not certain of, you can throw this in the chat. I don't know if Mason Plumlee went under his first half PRA, and I don't know if Draymond went over his first half PRA. So exclude those 2 plays. Here's what we got so far. We know that Max Strus did not go over 7.5 RA, but he did go over 20 fantasy points. LeBron James had a really good game, but still he stayed under 41 PRA. Leonard did not go over rebounds. Sabonis got the triple-double. Think that was a sleeper play. Luka did not go over points. Zion, I believe Zion did stay under 6 rebounds, if I'm not mistaken. Claxton got his dunks. Trae Young. Actually, I don't know if Trae Young hit his 3-pointers. I know that was one of the plays of the day. He needed 4 to go over this, and he did not. So Trae Young stayed under. There was 3.5 3-pointers made. Cam Thomas did not go over 27.5 anything. He got into foul trouble and just did not have an efficient game. Podziemski did go over his RA. So not the best of days that are plays of the day. So I believe that's pretty close to just like a 50-50 split on our plays of the day. Tomorrow I'll have a better presentation, but just to let everybody know, those are the results. And I did add the results in the Discord as well, so you can check those out over there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen. Also, Taco Tuesday today. We always have Taco Tuesday talk on Tuesdays, but we don't ever have the tacos presented to us during the stream. Well, actually, we might have one, right? Usually the first one is released like around 10. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what those are, or what the final verdict is on the tacos. But let's start off. Let's go Aaron Neesmith. Jim says, look at Aaron Neesmith's 21.5 PR. Ramo says Jalen Green under RA. I wrote that over. I rode the over a minute now. So you've been writing the under for Jalen Green RA or RA? His RA is at 8.5. I haven't looked at his RA. I was too busy looking at those points. Paolo assist over. His assist got bumped up to 5. Did you get him at 4.5 ATM? At 4.5, those were really good. Now they're at 5. Marcus said that Neesmith is valued to go under heavily on his PRA. All right. Yeah, Paolo got bumped already. Eddie, if you're talking about Paolo, yeah, he already got bumped. First quarter points are okay. What's up? Good morning. First quarter points. I don't see the first quarter tab up on Prize Picks. So unfortunately, we can't look at any first quarter lines. Unless my Prize Picks is just off today. It's on Sportsbooks. Okay. Got you. Jim says AO's PRA looks good. Looks in play. His PRA is at 19.5. John Collins over rebounds. John Collins rebounds, and also John Collins points and rebounds. I like 21.5. I think his points and rebounds are at 21.5. I think that's a good one. Did you go over Terry Rozier? I might have missed it. Jesus. We didn't look at Terry Rozier's rebounds and assists. They've been bumped up to 8. If you still want to look at them, we'll take a look at those. I do like it. I played it at 7.5, but at 8, I'm not going to play the bump. ROK. So went over. So this is the third 2-pick power that I'm playing today. But as you saw, Jalen Green has been bumped up. No Fred VanVleet today, so I think Jalen Green is in play. I love Jimmy Butler today versus the Magic. The other two pick powers that I'm playing, I threw those in the Discord last night, so you can check those out over there. But I think Jimmy Butler will get bumped up at some point too. All right, JR, what's going on? Top of the morning to you, Chet Holmgren. Under 21 PA. Did he hit last time? Did he go last time? I believe you were on Chet Holmgren's under PA last we had a stream. Damien, what's good? Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Divine. What's going on? Good morning. I'm just seeing all the latest messages. So working my way down the chats. Oh, no shit, man. Wait. Nice, dude. That's pretty cool. Did he get you good seats? Were you on the floor? That's dope, man. Nice. Always feels good when you go watch like a friend play anything, do anything, perform, singer, band, whatever they do, and you're like, you just kind of feel proud. You're like, I know that guy, you know? That's pretty cool. All right, Marcus said Plumlee went under. So that was the play on his first half PRA, right? Under. Okay, so that one hit. That's good. All right, so I'll tell you what, where we'll leave off when we come back. Let's ROK. I'm gonna put this one on the screen, and that's where we'll pick up. So what we got on the board so far, we got Neesmith. So actually, ROK. Well, we can't look at his first quarter. You're playing on sports books, right? So we can't look at his first quarter points on. Maybe is Prize Picks removing the first quarter category altogether? We'll look at Neesmith, PRA. We'll look at Jalen Green's rebounds and assists. We will take a look at Rozier, even though his line has been bumped up. We got Paolo assists to look at, and that's at the same game. So we'll look at Rozier at the same time. Collins and Chet. We'll quickly take a look at the Sumo. All right, we got 6 on the board. Let's get this going. Head over to props.cash. By the way, if you're new to the stream, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Hit that like button. We're on our second round of player props. We just broke down 6. I just put a new 6 on the board based off what y'all want to talk about. And I'm about to break these down. If you have any interest also in using props.cash for your own research, my promo code is thanks25. I know you guys are using it because my redemptions went up. When I got the call from props.cash on Monday, on Friday, got the email from props.cash. They sent me a report of all my redemptions, and they went up. So thank you. Appreciate y'all checking this out. Like I always say, if it's not for you, there are worse things you can spend your money on, like a shitty slip, right? If it's not for you, you just cancel it after the first month. You get your, you save some money, but I think you're going to find it useful. I think it'll help you out. I really do. All right, let's kick things off. I tell you what, let's start in the Miami-Orlando game. Let's look at Paolo Banchero's assist. Now, his assists were sitting at 4.5, and if you played it at 4.5, then you were getting really strong odds to the over. Fucking incredible. Surfing the green wave in this bitch. Look at this. Oof. That's a lot of green. That's a lot of green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight games of 6 or more. And the funny thing is if you pay attention to odds and shit like that, in a lot of these games or a few of these games, the odds for him to go over were terrible. In a few of these games, the juice was on the under. I remember seeing write-ups from people in the industry about the under on his assist. And this is what he's done. So this is super impressive. Only 2 games where he didn't go over. Now, head to head with the Miami Heats, he does have 4 games to look at this season, which is a pretty nice sample size. And he did go over in 3 games to look at: the 20th, the 12th, and 21st. So 3 games to look at. He went over in 2 of them. I think maybe 8 is a little high. I don't think 2 is what you can expect every game. So I think that 6 range is kind of like, that's his thing. 6 assists. He is projected for 5.67 assists, which is roughly 6. These 2 teams will play each other a lot. They're in the same division, right? So they're going to see each other a lot. The sample size will continue to increase. And when you have a situation like this, there's not a whole lot to dig into. You know, at some point, we just know a player plays this team really well. They play each other a lot. They play each other well. And I think we're in a situation right now where Paolo is playing the Heat very well. So I like the over on his assist at 4.5. Now, because this has been bumped up to 5, I don't know what the new odds will be. But you're still looking at really good game logs here versus the Heat, and you're looking at really strong numbers. Even with the bump, he's clearing the bump. So Paolo is definitely in play. So Terry Rozier was the other one we didn't look at last round, but if you want to look at his rebounds and assists, because those were in play. So this will be bumped up to 8.5 at some point. It is at 8.5 over on FanDuel, but DraftKings still has this at 7.5 with -150 odds. Caesars -139, BetMGM -135, and PointsBet -145 at 7.5. But now that this has been bumped to 8, it does not impact his last 3 games. He has been clearing these last 3 games. Last 5 games, I believe all these games were played as a member of the Heat, if I'm not mistaken. So as a member of the Heat, he's 80% over his last 5 games. So I think you could still play it at 8. It will be bumped up to 8.5 at some point. And his projections also look very strong at 9.82. So yeah, definitely like that. This is what I was looking at last night at 7.5. And this is what we're looking at today at 8. Nothing changes with his game logs and nothing changes with his hit rates. All right, let's look at who do we have? Let's look at we got Collins, we got Holmgren, and we got Nesmith. So let's look at Aaron Nesmith, who has been kind of getting a bit more usage without Halliburton at 100%. We take a look at his PRA. -125 on the under. So there's that heavily favored to go under odd right here. And we do have a nice 4-game hit rate out of his last 5. I said that in a stupid way. He's gone over this in 4 out of his last 5 games. PRA is projected for 22 PRA. So I'm just going to take out Halliburton and see what those games look like. So without Halliburton in the lineup, the last 5 games, the hit rate is the same, but the production looks to be a bit stronger. So 24 PRA in those games without Halliburton. Actually, no, it's not. With Halliburton in the lineup, he's giving you 29 PRA. So Halliburton got really limited in this game. Came off the bench, that sort of thing. He didn't play his full run in this game against Sacramento, but that was the one game that Nesmith didn't hit. So it doesn't seem like Nesmith needs Halliburton to be out to produce, but in the event that Halliburton does start getting increased minutes or his role starts to go back to normal, it could pull usage away from Aaron Nesmith. So again, if you want to pay attention to the odds, if you're basing your picks on the odds, you're trusting the numbers, this looks like an under. If you're basing it off of just game by game and the game logs are there, you understand the situation with Halliburton and you see these projections and you like them, it would nudge you to take the over. Currently, BetMGM is offering you the best line at 20.5, while Caesars and DraftKings has this at 21.5, and the juice is in favor of the under. Jalen Green's rebounds and assists. So I don't know if his assists tick up if Van Vliet's not in there, but over his last 5 games, he's gone for 11, 19, 8, 7, and 9. Versus the Indiana Pacers, this season he has 1 game. He went for 3 rebounds and assists, and again, 5 points. That's a really bad game for him. So yeah, if you're looking to take the under on his rebounds and assists, although the juice is really heavy on the over at -138, it might be something you want to look into a little bit more. But yeah, like typically he's not the guy. Typically he's not the guy that's going to get you 10, 11 rebounds and assists. He's projected for 9 on the dot. So he's projected for the over. You're getting odds in favor of the over. Well, shit, I wonder what his PRA looks like. It's not bad. Yeah, the only thing that worries me is that Fred VanVleet's not in the lineup, and we just don't have a big enough sample size to like make a decision based off that. But when Fred VanVleet's not in the lineup, Jalen Green does this. We don't have that sample size, so we're just basing it off of like the full team being there. But those odds are really good in favor of the over. So yeah, if you're looking at taking the under, maybe dig into it a little bit more. Or maybe this changes your mind looking at the odds and seeing what he's projected for. But yeah, no Fred VanVleet. You know, that should help him out in terms of overall production. All right, let's take a look at we got Collins and Holmgren. Who else was there? Let's do John Collins and Holmgren since they're in the same game, and then we'll circle back and we'll take a look at Ayo's PRA. So we're looking at the under on Chet. PA should be 21.5. At least that's what we have it for on Prize Picks. $20.5 or 21.5? What are we seeing it? 21.5 on Prize Picks. So who has this shit at 20.5? FanDuel has it at 20.5, while PointsBet, BetMGM, Caesars, and DraftKings all have this at 21.5 with kind of flat odds. Like, you're not seeing a whole lot of juice to either side. So anyway, I think this is the game that I'm trying to find the chat comment. Who asked about him? Doesn't matter. I think it does matter. You matter. But what I'm trying to say is I think the Charlotte game was the game where it was brought up about taking his under. So he did finish with 19 in this game. Denver, I mean, he's literally gone under 21.5 PA in 9 straight games. Cleared it against Toronto, which is, you know, pretty good against that team. And with a healthier front court with Podol back. Podol. But man, 9 out of 10 games he's gone under. This is really bad for Chetty Chet. But it does show you that this probably will get bumped down. So his PA is projected today for 20, roughly 20. So if you're looking to take the under on this one, I say do it now, because I don't think this line is going to get bumped up. I think it'll get bumped down, and then you'll be forced to take the under at 21 or forced to just leave it alone. But yeah, that could be a wagon, but like the negative wagon. We always talk about wagons, like the over on these guys. Like Colin Sexton was the wagon. You got Nick Claxton dunks, stuff like that. Maybe Chet Holmgren under PA is a wagon and we can look at. But yeah, this one looks good. Definitely looks good. John Collins. Not Colin Sexton. John Collins. So looking at his PR, because I know those rebounds were in play. But we'll look at his PR in a second. Rebounds at 8.5. He's gone over this in 6 out of his last 10. Minus 118, minus 108. So the odds they're just kind of meh, to be honest with you. 3 straight games of 10 plus, or no, 3 straight games of exactly 10 rebounds versus the Thunder. Last game played was this season, only roughly a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. Now he's only projected for 7.44 rebounds. Now, if you feel like this is a mistake, like I always say, projections are guides, not gospel. Just disregard the projections and just focus on the game logs and focus on the odds. And, oh, hold on. I'm sorry, everybody. We're looking at Lauri Markkanen. I thought I clicked John Collins. Okay. This still looks good. 7.5 rebounds. I was like, damn, John Collins is crushing the Thunder. So anyway, live stream. Can't edit anything out. Woo. All right. 6 out of his last 10, he's gone over this, okay? He's averaging roughly 9 rebounds in his last 10, 9 in his last 5. Head-to-head versus the Thunder. Only 2 games to look at. 1 game this season, he only brought down 4 boards in that game. That's because Lauri brought down 10. Now, better projections, right? He's projected for 8 rebounds today, so he's projected for the over on this one. You are getting favorable odds to the over on this one. I don't think this one gets moved. Well, this one could bump up to 8.5 maybe. But while you get it at 7.5, I think this is a very strong line for him. So yeah, John Collins is there. Let's look at John Collins' points and rebounds also. Now, this one was one I was looking at 7 straight games of overs. So he is scoring his ass off against OKC. While his rebounds were down in that last game versus the Thunder with only 4, he scored 21 points. He went over his rebound and points prop. That game, he probably went over it on points alone. I'm sure it wasn't 21.5 back in January. But damn, that's pretty impressive. And he is projected for 14 points. He is projected for 22 PR. John Collins is in play. Points and rebounds, or just rebounds. I like all those. I really do. All right, that's John Collins. Let's circle back up to Chicago and take a quick look at Ayo's PRA. All right, so 3 straight games of going over this. Now, this is at 19.5 on props.cash, and you are getting it at 19.5 on Prize Picks. So this one probably won't bump. There are no other books that have this at a lower or higher line, so this is pretty much what it is. 4 out of his last 5, 3 out of 3, and then 6 out of his last 10. Again, the no Zach LaVine, and he won't be back. He's done for the year, and I don't think you'll see him again in the Bulls uniform. So this is kind of like what we should expect moving forward. I don't know if the Bulls make a move. Can they still make a move? Is the deadline gone? But guys like Ayo and Caruso should remain contributors on this team throughout the rest of the year. He's projected for just 19 PRA, so he's projected to come back down to earth a little bit today. The odds aren't giving you anything either, so it's pretty flat, kind of a push here. And if you want to take a look at what he's done in his head-to-head games, now these are from last season. We don't really have a big sample size, and this is a completely different team this year, so we can just disregard these numbers because they don't really help us out. So I guess the question you got to ask yourself is, does this production continue, or do we see him drop off a little bit? Because from 28 to 20, like 28, 27 PRA, he can still get you 22, 21, which is a huge drop off, but it's over the line today. Or do you anticipate there being a massive drop off where we get him at 18, 17 PRA? I guess that's what you should ask yourself. But game logs look super impressive. Last 5 look real good for Ayo. Ayo. All right. Six up and 6 down. I feel like we're moving through these today. So I'm going to go under on Nesmith just based off what I saw. Man, I still like the over on Jalen Green's points. I'd rather see him go over on points than rebounds and assists. Those odds were really hard to ignore, though. Based off the odds and just based off the projection, I'm going to go over on this one. I mean, based off all this information, it's kind of shaping up for him to have a really big game against the Pacers today, which I kind of don't like. I kind of want this shit to fly under the radar a little bit, but it's not. Paolo, we like the over on his assists. We think he can get us 6 again. That'll be, 8 straight games of 6+ assists. Can he do it? He'll need to. If you took the over at 5, I liked it at 4.5. Ayo, against the Minnesota Timberwolves, you know what? I'm going to go under on this one because we weren't getting a lot of odds that were showing us like either direction. John Collins, we like the over. Chet, we like the under. So in this slip, we got a 50-50 break here. We got 3 unders and 3 overs. I like that. Diversifying our slips. Diversify your bonds. Do y'all remember that Wu-Tang Clan sketch? I think it was Wu-Tang Clan on the Chappelle Show, where like they were stockbrokers or something. And I think it was RZA or ODB that just kept saying diversify your bonds, and they just kept saying that shit over and over again. Oh man, that was when comedy was funny. All right, let's clear out this board. We got 6 up and 6 down. That's a total of 12 player props that we covered on Prize Picks, but we did cover extra ones for a couple of players. So that's closer to 15. Not bad. Not bad at all. Chat is still going strong. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in. If you're just joining the chat, joining the stream, we're an hour in. We've broken down over 15 player props. We talked about plays of the day. I've shared my slips. And now we're just, we're just chilling. We're just chopping it up, cooking some shit up. Let's see here. Where do we leave off? So left off on ROK's Nesmith comment. There we go. All right. Take a few seconds to stretch, breathe. Katie over 19.5 Goblin and Holly over 11.5 PRA. 11. Oh, is that his first half? What is that? His first quarter PRA? I'm still not seeing first quarter on the. I'm still not seeing first quarter on Prospect. So maybe Maybe they're updating it. Yeah, so Halliburton's PRA full game is at 22.5. That's stupid low. I'm gonna put him up on the board because I want to look at his minutes and see if we can project his minutes today based off what we got. That is way too low. Kyrie over RA ATM. Yeah, that one. I had an eye on. I only had one eye on that this morning. I was looking at it like that, like through the keyhole. I was like, all right. Are we thinking revenge narrative here for Kyrie? Now I'll tell you what, if sometimes we make a big deal out of these revenge narratives, especially when a guy plays for so many teams. It's like, goddamn, every game he plays is a revenge game, right? But in this particular one, like Kyrie talks a lot of shit about Brooklyn, and he did not leave that team off. He did not leave that team in a good state. Like that team, when he left, that team was like in shambles. It's like he mentally ninja'd their ass. Like he just went inside and just like crushed their mental strength. I think this could be a game where Luka looked pretty bad yesterday. He didn't look good. He still did not look 100%. I don't know. This is a game where Luka just kind of lets Kyrie drive the car and just go 100 miles an hour. That'd be fun to watch. Yeah, so Kyrie's in play for sure. ROK, yeah, we'll look at Halliburton's PRA, and we'll look at a few of the other ones, RA included. Ramo says, how about John Collins for rebounds and assists next one? Nine. It got bumped. That's cool. Yeah. Jim, we just looked at Collins's rebounds at 7.5. And we like it. Let's see. What I miss? ROK says first quarter props are on sportsbooks if you use those. Yeah. Unfortunately, in Texas, I thought we could. Honestly, I was like, hell yeah, pull one up. Location denied. So for as wild as Texas is on a lot of other fronts, not so much with the sports gambling, but we do have pick'em sites, and that's good. It was Jizza, Damian. Diversify your bonds, son. That was funny. All right. So Ramos says he took Collins RA. We'll look at that in a sec for sure. Tay, what's going on? Welcome in. Check rebounds and assists. I'm looking what's are you talking John Collins rebounds and assists? John Collins is in play for sure. I didn't realize that his numbers were looking that good against the Thunder, but man, they are. No doubt. Colin Sexton over 5 assists. Yeah. Colin Sexton over 5 assists. And then I see D Twisted says Sengun over his 15 rebounds and assists. We need a bounce back game from Colin Sexton. I might build out a slip today based off just bounce back opportunities, like players that burned me the last couple of days. I don't do that enough. I don't go right back to a player after they let me down. And I think that's like the inner bitch in me that's like mad at him and shit, you know? And I just like forget that player or whatever. But oftentimes, if you go back and you check the box score for a player that just recently sold you, and the next game they're back on track. And so if we're waiting on like them to get back on track, we kind of miss out. I might build a slip based off that today. But Colin Sexton is definitely that guy today because he sure as hell let a lot of people down on Sunday. All right, let's take a look at Sengun. $15 and a half rebounds and assists. All right. JR, it was you. Yeah, it was you who was talking about Chet. You took the under last game and it hit, right? Shit, man. 9 straight games without going over until that Toronto game. Yeah, Chet is the under wagon. I don't know. Somebody think of a good name for that. All right. Want to make sure. the virtual weed. We passed the virtual joint around yesterday in honor of Carl Weathers passing over the weekend. So the virtual joint might still be going around, might be still making his rounds. Oh, but do not bet. Yeah. I guess with like basketball, baseball, football, like watching a friend play in that kind of game, it's fun. If you know anybody who like fights like MMA, that shit is not fun, right? Because like no matter how good somebody is, just watching them get hit, you're just like, oh shit, that is not fun. You want them to win, but damn, even just like checking the kick, ooh, fuck that, man. That's definitely not fun. Let's see, Towns over assist. All right, that's a new one. Supa, what's going on? Good morning, peace and blessings to you. Why is Tyrese Halliburton assist so low? That's exactly why it's low. So he's getting. We're gonna look at. You know what? We're gonna look at his shit over on props.cash. But we'll talk about it for sure. All right. So let's get this one done. So we got Halliburton on here. We got Kyrie, John Collins, Sexton. We got a couple of Jazz. We got Sengun in here. What's going on, 6-0? Would I miss? A little bit. We're on our 3rd round of player props today. I shared my slip with everyone this morning. I built 3 2-pick powers, put 2 of them in the Discord. I built one earlier this morning before the stream. Unfortunately, Jalen Green got bumped up to 21 points, but I still think it's in play without Fred VanVleet. But I definitely like getting the lower line. And I like Jimmy Butler's point. So that was one of the 2-pick powers that I'm playing today. And we've just been building out, well, not really building out slips. We're just going over player props. So sum that up pretty well. All right. Let's get this going. Let's start off with Halliburton, because I agree. His numbers are really low right now, but we know why they're really low is because they're taking no risk with him. If Tyrese Halliburton is not in his lineup, the Pacers are not going anywhere this season. I think their record is good enough to get him into the playoffs or play in if he's not healthy. But if they want to make a deep run, man, they need his ass to be 100%. So I think they're willing to sacrifice some mid-season games, for some playoff wins. And I think that's why we're not going to see full go Hallie right now. But look at his minutes since coming back from injury. You're going to see a huge difference in the drop off. So his last game he played healthy. Halliburton put in 35 minutes of work versus Portland, comes back 10 days later and only plays 22. New York plays 22. Sacramento, he plays 22. And then against Charlotte, comes off the bench and he only plays 20 minutes. So in those games, like all these games, Boston, New York, Sacramento, and Charlotte, he managed to go over PRA in these two games with limited minutes. Against Sacramento, he had a very good first half, but then you saw his minutes tail off in a second. And I did not watch the Charlotte game, so all I know is that he was being brought off the bench. I gotta be honest with you. If he's being brought off the bench and we know it beforehand, I'm staying away from his props because you just don't know what's gonna happen with that kind of shit. Like if he's being brought off the bench and let's just say Houston puts it on him today, why would you risk like playing him more? You just keep him on the bench. It's a little risky. That's why I wish we were having a little bit more information here. So like if we got the word that hey, his minutes are going to be bumped up to 25. Oh, that's a steal. Because he can average 1 PRA per minute. In 25 minutes, he can get you 25 PRA. So this is a steal. His assists are hella low, but look, the last 3 games, he just hasn't even come close. It's funny though because the projections are still pretty strong. Look, the projections got him at 25 PRA. They got him at 7 assists. So I think this is a fun one to play because how often are you going to get a bona fide superstar, star, whatever you want to call him? How often are you going to get a basically 35-40% discount? This is like a taco. Like you're getting Tyrese Halliburton props at like taco lines. We're used to seeing Tyrese Halliburton PRA at, I don't know, let's say 38. Let's say 38.5 PRA. Let's just round, let's say 38. So it's at 22. What is that, like a 40% discount on his props? That's better than a taco. So I guess you have a decision to make. If you want to take the risk, because these are super low, yeah, you're not going to find it any lower than this. So especially if he comes out and has a really good game, then the next game, the lines are going to kind of bump up. But that's exactly why that's why his lines are so low. It's because his minutes are low and we don't really know like what the rotation is going to be in Indiana right now and how they're going to use him. Sengun, 15.5 rebounds and assists. No Fred VanVleet. We know that already. So this is getting a little juice to the over, which is cool. Over his last 5, he's averaging 16. He's had some monster games in here. And then he's hooked it. Then he went under in 2. Like well under. No projections for this dude. I don't know why. Again, the sample size without Fred VanVleet is not really there because Fred VanVleet was not a. So we only have 2 games this season without Fred VanVleet in the lineup where Sengun played. He went for 22 and 11. So you do have a little sample size, but it's really not a lot to like build a trend. These 3 games were last season where obviously Fred VanVleet was in Toronto. So 33 divided by 2 is what? 16.5. I mean, you can go with that. I mean, 16 PRA is what he needs to go over. So I don't think we're too far off. That's exactly why this is 15.5. It's all we're doing is dividing these 2 games without Fred VanVleet. There's your number right there. It's kind of lazy though, right? It's a lazy ass way, but feels like that's what they're doing. We like the over on his rebounds already, right? 10 plus. He can't get you 5 assists, 6 assists. His assists are coming in really strong. Big juice to the over. I think it's in play. I think 15.5 is in play. for Sengun. All right, let's look at Kyrie, and then we'll head back to Utah to look at the Jazz's. Kyrie Irving, rebounds and assists, revenge game. Is Nick Claxton playing today? He got ejected yesterday, right? So I don't know. Is that a suspension or is it just an ejection? He's not questionable. He's not out. I don't see anything on the injury report. All right. Kyrie, over his last 5, he's gone over in 4, 80%. Last game that he didn't go over was against Boston. Another revenge game for him. Head-to-head against the Brooklyn Nets. He does have one game this season where he did get 13 rebounds and assists. So we do have some positive history here. 10. He's projected for just 10 rebounds and assists. It's a little low. You're getting very strong odds. I mean, minus 130 to the over. This is incredibly impressive here. He's averaging 10.5 on the year. So this line is basically in alignment with his season line. He needs 11 to get over. He's done it in 50% of his games this season. On the road, Kyrie, not as good. You're seeing only a 50% hit rate versus his games at home. You're looking at a 70% hit rate. But that shouldn't be surprising. He's still pretty consistent, though, when you tally it all up. 90% hit rate. It's in play. I think this is in play. Kyrie's in play. All right, let's head to Utah. We'll take a look at Colin Sexton's assists, and I think the other question was rebounds and assists for John Collins. Make sure I pull up the right player this time. So John Collins, rebounds and assists, we are seeing these at 9 on Prize Picks and 9.5 everywhere else. So minus 140 to the under with 9.5 line, but the 9 is a little lower, so it should help the odds sway slightly. His projections do look strong at 9.5, so that's closer to 10 than it is to 9. At 9, you are getting very strong push potential here. Over his last 10 games, you got a 60% hit rate, and then over his last 2 games versus OKC. So remember, we talked about this earlier when we were looking at his points. He is scoring a lot of points versus the Thunder. I mean, 2 games with 20 plus points in each game. Well, basically he's averaging 20 in those 2 games. So I think there's a reason why we're getting really shitty odds for this one. It's almost like the books are expecting him to score points. Now, we can take a look at the splits. So at home, John Collins is averaging, overall, over his last 10, he's averaging 10 rebounds and assists. Over his last 5, he's averaging 11. At home, not so good. His home numbers are not all that great. If you're putting stock into the home and away splits, this is what it looks like. Not that great. Back-to-back games at home, though, okay? So that's positive. If you want to look at his numbers on the road, does he play better on the road? A little bit. His averages are way better. Over his last 10, he's giving you 10 rebounds and assists, and over his last 5, he's giving you 12. Yeah, it does look like he plays a better game on the road than at home. Now, is he scoring more points at home? So over his last 10 home games, he's averaging 14, and he's averaging 16 over his last 5. On the road, it's identical. Nah, it can't be identical. Hold on. On the road, 15 and 16. And at home, 14 and 16. So his points have been consistent. It's his rebounds, and assists away versus home that are the biggest difference. That's a lot of splits right there. So sometimes this can be paralysis by analysis. If you just want to simplify it, I still think his rebounds are in play. I think that's a little low for him. And I think his PR is in play, as is points. But his RA looks like it suffers when he's at home, which is kind of weird. All right, let's look up Collin Sexton's assist, and we'll look up Collin Sexton. You know what? Collin Sexton's points, all right? We need him to get 20 points. We need him to redeem himself a little bit. So over his last 10 games, he's gone over this in 70. Over his last 5, he has a 60% hit rate. Back-to-back games of 22 plus before last game. He is projected for just 18.27 points today. At home, very strong numbers at home. He's averaging 19 over his last 10 on the road, 17 at home, 17 over his last 5, and at home, 23 and 26. I think his points are in play for a bounce back. I think his assists at 5.5 are in play. Overall, over his last 10 games, this is what he's done. 70% hit rate, but at home. So doesn't this make sense? So we saw his scoring go up at home. He's averaging basically 26 points in his last 5 games at home. It does make sense to see his assist numbers suffer because of that. But if you don't care about home and away splits, his last 10 games look real good. He is projected for 6 assists today, so that does get you over that 5.5. And that is about the only thing that's popping for him based off projections. Points and assists for Collin Sexton. What about his points and assist prop? Maybe. But separately, I like his points and I like his assists. Putting them together, maybe. All right. Is that everybody? We got Halliburton. That's so low. Over. I'm going to go under on this one for John Collins because I still think his points are there. And we like his rebounds. I mean, honestly, if he got you 8 rebounds, he would only need to get you 2 assists. Oh, I'm going to switch it to over. I'm going to go under on Sexton's assists. I think tonight is a scoring night for him. And we like the over on Sengun. All right, let's screenshot these. And I think that'll do it. That's 3 rounds of player props. We can start getting into some plays of the day. See what y'all got in terms of your plays of the day. Dude. I mean, yeah, anybody can get caught. But even like if you've never been to a fight, not even like a professional fight, like amateur fight, like a kick is a kick, a punch is a punch. Like to watch somebody get punched in the ribs, you can hear it. To watch somebody get like leg kicked in the hamstring, That shit is painful too. Like watching your friend get kicked. Dude, it just gives you a new respect for him, but also like, whew, it's much different than watching your friend take a jump shot. I will tell you that right now. I'd rather watch a friend take a jump shot than get kicked in the calf. So Super said he just got an ejection, so he didn't no suspension for Sexton or for Claxton. Michael said, just read an article saying that Halliburton will most likely be on a 22-minute restriction. Okay. So listen, if he's going to stay at 22 minutes, and I think maybe even looking at the under on his fantasy, if that gets dropped, 22 minutes is, I mean, he got it done the first 2 games back, but I don't know. You can risk it. We got one side where it's like these lines are way too low for him, but he's also not getting full run. I wonder if he got hot. And like they let him play a couple extra minutes, or even if he just got hot and was able just to get it done in 3 quarters kind of thing. That is just so low for him. Oh, yeah. Did I see this one earlier? Hero over assist. All right. Play of the day. Hold on. All right. It's like the only picture I can find of Jalen Green where I can get all his hair in the frame. All right. So first play of the day that I see is this Butler PR over. Over PR. Suggs over 1.5. I think it's 1.5 blocks and steals. We got Brook Lopez over, is it 21.5 PRA? Oh shit, that's a good one. Clarkson over 7.5 PRA or RA. Or PRA would be a lock. RA is still pretty good. Precious under first half PRA. What's going on, Mel? Yeah, Precious under first half PRA. Do you know what that is, Mel? You know what his number is? I just saw, there it is. So do y'all have Kyrie over 10.5 assists? Yes. ISO, yes. Kyrie over 10.5 rebounds and assists. Does look very good today. And we did look at that together. Let's see. Sixo said, I like Walker Kessler over. He crashes boards. Also Fontecchio. Fontecchio was popping earlier today too. This is so funny that the Jazz, like I feel like the last few days, the Jazz props have been really good lines. I don't know if it's just me, but like Sexton's points, like anything under 20 is always like appealing. I mean, his PRA looks good. We talked about John Collins' points at 13.5. We talked about his PR. We talked about his rebounds. There's Jordan Clarkson, 4.5 assists. I want some bonus cash. Jordan Clarkson assists. Now, back-to-back games of going over this one, but 3 games prior to going under. That could be worth looking at. I think Jordan Clarkson is a much better, like when he's at point, I think he's a much better point guard than people think or know. I just saw him out there and he was just looking for his teammates and they were knocking down shots. And I don't know if he's putting the pass exactly where it needs to be. I don't know if they feel more comfortable with him running the point when he's out there. But when I saw him dish and assist, they were making shots. Like, that's the other part of the assist. Like, you have to make the shot. And they were knocking down shots. So I might have to look at his assist. His 3-pointers are always in play, but look, this is gross, but this is like positive regression. We know he shoots. We know he's better than that. But yeah, the Jazz props lately, I feel, have been really low. Shit, Olynyk was out there dropping dimes on Philly. That was like 10 assists, I think. I mean, there are just a lot of plays on the Utah Jazz that you can look at. Fontecchio points and rebounds, 11.5 is in play. His points are in play. There's Kessler's rebounds at 6.5. You think he gets you 7 today? I mean, he's done it 4 straight games. Rebounds and assists. I mean, honestly, Kessler's rebounds and assists might be the play, because in the event he can dish out 1 or 2 assists, I feel like you have to feel real good about that one. If he gets you 2 assists, he only needs to get you 6 rebounds. These might be sneaky 6-0. Walker Kessler, Fontecchio for sure. Deontay, what's going on? Good morning. I just saw your comment or your question. Or are you asking 6-0? Would you advise going less? Yeah, I think 6.5 rebounds is too low for Walker Kessler. Big Icy says Lou Dort, play of the day, under first half PRA. Under first half PRA. All right. JR, rolling with Chet on the under 21.5 PA. Let's look at Hero's assist real quick. I know that was put in the chat, but I didn't get to it. Let's here's the thing with his assists is I like everybody's assists on the Heat, and I'm afraid of them cannibalizing each other if I play too many of them. So obviously, if we like Terry Rozier's rebounds and assists, he needs assists to help. Jimmy Butler's assists were at 3.5. It got bumped up to 4. Bam Adebayo's assists were at 3.5. I don't know where it is now. And now you have Tyler Hero's assists. So like all these assists are kind of right there at the same line. And they all feel like they're too low. They feel like they're too good to pass up. The odds aren't not strong for this one, but he does have 3 straight and 4 out of his last 5 where he's averaging 5 assists. He is projected for 4 assists today, which is what you want. Perfect. He is projected for also 3 3-pointers made. I don't know what his prop is. He's projected for 8 rebounds and assists. What is his rebounds and assists are probably what, 7.5, 7.5. Damn, this might be a fun game stack if you find enough positive odds from the Magic and Heat and just attack this game and, just attack the props for the players that are like have the highest usage. You could probably build a nice 6 pick and you just like you just kind of narrow in on where that production is coming from. I tried to do that with Golden State and Brooklyn yesterday. It did not work out. But I mean, if you're targeting a game and you think a game has like upside, that's the way to do it. You just focused on, where that production is going to come from. But Hero's rebounds and assists look pretty good too. If you like his assists, but after seeing the odds, you don't really like him as much, you can look to his rebounds and assists. All right. 12.5 for Precious, says Mel. So under 12.5 first half PR. All right, so here's what we got. We got Butler over his PR. Man, I'm gonna go back and look at these Utah Jazz player props. I might have to spend a few extra minutes today looking at those. So Butler's 23.5 PR over. Suggs over 1.5 blocks and steals. Brook Lopez over 21.5 PRA. It might be 20.5, but whatever it is, we like the over on it. Clarkson over his 7.5 rebounds and assists. Got Precious under first half PRA. We got Lu Dort under first half PRA. And you have Chet Holmgren under 21 PA. And we just got one, Jimmy over first half PRA. Icy, what's his PRA? What's his first half PRA? Oh, 6-0. AO over PRA first half solid. You want to put that as your player of the day? 6-0? You're going to stamp your name on that one? Let's see. First half for Butler. 14 for Butler, first half PRA. So that one got bumped. He says, hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. What else? What else was there? Oh, AO. AO, first half PRA is at 10. I mean, I guess that makes sense because his full game PRA is 19.5. He needs 20 to go over. So all they're doing is splitting that down the middle. And they're giving you the push potential as well. All right, 10. Oh, 10. All right. I think we got him. Life is a gamble. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are... Oh, hold on. ATM says Hero might be a sleeper. Which prop? His rebounds and assists or everything? His rebounds and assists look real good. So yeah, Flagrant 2 is an automatic ejection, but not suspension, correct? All right. I think I got these. All right. I think we're good. On the plays of the day. I'm gonna read those back to y'all. And I think we're ready to bounce. So plays of the day. I'll throw these in the Discord. You can tail these. You can build a slip from these. Pick what you want. So as of now, we got Butler over his full game, 23.5 points and rebounds. We got Suggs over 1.5 blocks and steals. We got Brook Lopez over 21. Brook Lopez over his PRA. But Did they take the? They took his. They took Brook Lopez's PRA off the board. No, they didn't. My bad. I didn't scroll up. 20 and a half. 20 and a half. So Brook Lopez over 20 and a half PRA. Clarkson over 7.5 RA. Precious under 12.5 first half PRA. Dort under first half PRA. Chet under 21.5 PA. Jimmy Butler over first half PRA. And Ayo Dosunmu over first half PRA. And that is at 10. And that is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays. All right. That is it. 8 plays of the day. I'll throw those in the Discord along with the screenshots from the plays that we broke down today. You got quite a few slips floating around in there, not just from me, but from everybody in the Discord. If you want to join, it's free. Check it out. The link is in the video description and live stream description below. And what else? That's it. Appreciate y'all stopping by as always. Keeping this under 2 hours today. Love it. If you lasted this long, if you watched the entirety, I appreciate you. I don't expect anybody to be here for the full 1 hour plus, but hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. Consider subbing up to the channel. Huge help helping this channel get bigger every day. Hit that like button on your way out. If you did not do it on your way in, it means a ton. Tons of engagement in the chat today. I really appreciate it. I think we got a lot done today, and looking forward to doing it tomorrow. As I always say, best of luck to you all, regardless of the player props you roll with. I hope they all respect the damn coin. I hope your props hit and hit big. And until tomorrow's player prop live stream, 9 a.m. Chavez is